Okay, so here we are going to take a look at our 1090 versus the 40-60 split and specifically focus on the guaranteed values. This is very similar to a previous study that we had looked at, except for we cut the term rider. We didn't do that in the last study, and we want to make sure we see a fair comparison here. So very quickly, we have a 50-year-old male only looking at the guaranteed floor of 4%. So we're assuming zero dividends are paid to this policy. Guaranteed interest rate scenario. On the term rider, the company is also going to charge the maximum allowable they can when the term rider is attached. Some extra information there. But then for our funding, 50,000 years 1 through 7, and then 20,000 years 8 through 20. We did a current dividend study on this as well. This scenario illustration policy matches that exactly. Again, only looking at the guarantees. 40-60 split will represent 20,000 or 40% of the 50K into the base premium, 30K into PUAs. The 1090 split will represent 5,000 into the base premium and the remaining 45,000 into the PUA component. So that will 100% of the time accelerate early cash value growth. What we want to look at here though and examine is, will it accelerate long-term cash value growth? Because the argument we sometimes hear is a higher base premium split of 40-60, for example, will generate stronger long-term cash values, where that is where the power of the compounding is. You're going to see that that's not the case here. That can be the case in a hypothetical high dividend scenario, but when we look at how an insurance policy actually functions, you're going to see the lower the premium, the more cash value short-term and long-term. So quick refresher, if you have not viewed our overview video, when it comes to base premium dollars and PUA dollars, remember that the guarantee is applied to these dollars in the same manner. The 4% guarantee is applied to base premium and PUA dollars in the exact same manner. Everything above the guarantee, the surplus, the remaining dividend payout an insurance company disperses to their policyholders, is more favorable to base premium dollars. So this is sometimes the argument we hear why one should go with a higher base premium. And I'd refer you to our dividend study or our overview video on the split study for more information on that. Let's take a look at the comparison though. So we will start with the illustrations just to validate everything. So here is our 40-60, 50-year-old male going to fund the policy for 20 years. Here is our premium. And here's our PUA component. $40-60 split. Now, pure guarantees are on the left. Let me get out of the way. We're going to look at the 20-year funding here. 50 for 7 years, and then 20 years 8 through 20 computes to a total output of $610,000. This is how much the policyholder paid into the life insurance policy. So with a higher base premium split, remember, in the early years, that base premium does not go into cash value. That's where the insurance company overcharges me for the cost of insurance. I've paid in $610,000 by year 20. I have 606. It's between years 20 and 21 where I finally generate a positive cash value. That's where I break even. Now, when I look at a 1090 split with the exact same insurance company, the exact same insurance product, same health rating, same individual, drastically different results. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, this piece always fascinates me, how you can use the same product and everything and get much different results. Here's our premium piece. Here's our PUA piece. Now, quick side note, it's not a true $45,000. The reason why, that is the cost of the term insurance, so our term rider, which does decrease as our term rider decreases. The cost that is, but then we also cut it after year 7 here. So let's take a look at our guarantees. Here we go. So 40/60, when was your break even? About year 21, where you've paid in 610,000 and you had just over 610,000. Here, year 7, when we just so happen to cut the term rider as well, prior to that actually, I've paid in 350, I have 350. Keep in mind, guarantees are reflecting the absolute worst case scenario if I followed this funding pattern. Crossover point or break even is year 7, beefing up the early cash value. Now I want to look at it long term as well. We know by year 2021 we have more because we just looked at the 40/60 split, but let's take a look. Side by side, what do we got? 40/60 on the left, 1090 on the right. All of this is peeled straight from the illustrations, from the design software. What's highlighted in yellow is your break-even point. Now, before we scroll down to year 20, the only column we added here was the CV, which stands for cash value difference. So by year 7, you have approximately $44,000 more in cash value with the 1090 as opposed to the 40/60. Let's look at it long term. Again, especially if we've heard that the power of compounding growth in a life insurance policy is in the base premium. No, that's based off of hypothetical dividends when you actually look at how life insurance works. And if you've looked at our BOLI study, bank-owned life insurance, and see how those policies work, they function very similar to a large PUA deposit when you look at the actual cash value and growth. So why would we not want to mimic them? So here's our break-even point with the 40/60, year 21. Let's look at year 30 though. You've paid in 610,000 with the 40/60 split. By year 30, you've got $770,000. With the 1090 split, and all this means is you put 10% of your payment into the base premium instead of 40% of it. Now you have $222,000 more with the 1090, looking at the pure guarantees. Huge difference there. Now we looked at the non-guaranteed study as well. Same thing where we had more cash with the 1090 split. It always comes out on top. How I look at it as well is when we are building a cash value life insurance policy, if our goal is just to position money in cash value life insurance, or if we want to pull money out and use it, whether it's for retirement, IBC, whatever it might be, why would we not want more money from start to finish? Thinking long range, but also thinking, how can I use it immediately as well? How do we capitalize and use the policy? So understanding the policy splits and such can be a little complex, as you can see, but to simplify, what you'll always see the case, especially if you're looking at the guarantees, squeezing the premium down will generate more cash value from start to finish. Hope this helps. Hey guys, Steve Parisi here. If you enjoyed the content you just saw, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell for future videos. If you'd like more information or to see some custom policies for yourself, feel free to call or email our offices at the contact information below.